At the end of the last episode of Conquering Clickbait, I left you all with a bit of a cliffhanger when I washed out in a corner and tweaked my knee. In case you missed it, don't worry, we've got Seth here to catch you up on what went down.
So I was behind Alex, I didn't have my GoPro on, but I'll do a reenactment of what happened. So he went around the berm, he was getting really loose and he was like, "Rah!" And then he went, "Rah!" And then
except my leg
he went like this and his leg was pointing like that and then he was like, "Rah!" But I think he's gonna be okay.
As much as I wish Seth was right, over the course of the next couple days, my knee continued to swell and it became apparent to me that things were not okay. So I made an appointment to get in to see my doctor and thus began my journey down injury lane.
He says he's concerned about my ACL, which is the last thing you want to hear as someone who has torn their ACL before. My last ACL tear, it was about a year before I was fully recovered. I am waiting for the MRI to be scheduled, and I just wanted to note, waiting. The waiting is the worst. All right, just got out of the MRI, and I'm trying not to think one thing or another. I'm trying to just wait to hear. That's all I can do. Wish me luck. All right, we might have some good news. I don't really know if it is or not. My doc isn't in today, but they were able to read me the report. The ACL reconstruction does not appear disrupted or harmed. That is like, that is such a big relief. Oh my God. However, what I didn't expect is they said that there's a non-displaced impaction fracture along the posterior lateral tibia. So I broke my bone, I broke my leg.
On the phone, my doc told me that my tibia was indeed broken, and though it was a good break that wouldn't need surgery, I would have to get off of my leg for up to 10 weeks to let it properly heal. I could feel my initial relief quickly turn to frustration as I realized this basically meant the entire summer. I don't know when the last time you had used crutches was, but it had been a while for me, and let me tell you, though they may be mildly entertaining at the start, that all quickly changes the moment you need to both walk somewhere and hold something at the same time. Despite it being summer in the southeast, I really did try my best to make the van work.
Oh my gosh, it's so hot in here. I've been having to stay out of the van until like midnight or 1 o'clock, and even then you hear the van. I have to turn the van on because it's just too freaking hot. I need the AC to run to cool this place down before I can actually fall asleep at night. So
eventually, I decided it was worth it to rent a place in Asheville since I'd be around for a while doing rehab, and I gotta say, I was pretty excited about the place I found. Though I may not have thought this one all the way through. Speaking of rehab, I've been working my ass off to get this leg healed up. As you can imagine, things started out pretty slow since I couldn't put any weight on my leg yet. They had me doing this thing called blood flow restriction therapy, which I'd never heard of before, but basically, you do exercises while wearing this band around your leg that cuts off up to 80% of the blood flow. I guess the idea is that it's supposed to kind of like trick your body into thinking it's working really hard without having to stress it too much with heavy weights. This was cool though, and a bit comical too, as by the end of each exercise, my leg purple at this point, I'd be shaking as I tried my hardest to lift the weight up for the final time. It was the 2-pound weight. That was the funny part, it was just 2 pounds.
while we're on the topic, let's take a second to help me pay for some of these many PT visits and thank the sponsor of today's video, Native. You guys have probably seen me walking around with this metal water bottle here pretty much all the time, and that's because I am quite conscious about the amount of single-use plastics I use in my day-to-day, which is just one of the many reasons I am stoked to partner with Native. Not only is the deodorant packaging plastic-free, but Native is also a proud partner of 1% for the Planet, committing 1% of deodorant sales to environmental nonprofits. The deodorant itself is both aluminum and paraben-free, which I prefer, and as a guy who's generally living on the road, I've actually been really impressed using these over the last year at how fresh smelling they've kept me. All of these scents actually smell incredible too. They do a really good job. I've been using this citrus and herbal musk one lately, but I just got a couple new ones, this lavender and rose, and also this aloe and green tea one. So if you've been looking for another way to eliminate some single-use plastics from your day-to-day life and also keep yourself smelling fresh before and after your ride, head on over to Native and show these guys some love for supporting the channel. Enter the code Singletrack at your checkout to get 33% off of 3 deodorants or 20% off of any body wash and toothpaste. Thank you again to Native, and let's get back to the video.
The first few weeks of injury were off to a pretty good start. I had my own place that I was enjoying with air conditioning, a stocked full fridge and kitchen a cooking, clean laundry whenever I wanted, hot showers every single night, and comfy couches for lounging around watching movies. It kind of felt like vacation at first. Unfortunately, that feeling was short-lived, and it wasn't long before I found myself feeling cooped up, daydreaming about the next time I'd be able to get out and ride my bike again. As you all can surely relate, being off the bike was actually really difficult for me. Not having the ability to ride has reminded me not only how much I love it, but also how much I rely on it. For my fitness, for my mental health, not to mention my livelihood. And I know it's going to be hard to believe, but despite not being able to ride, life did continue right along. Thankfully, I've got some really awesome friends and family that I love to hang out with and who were really supportive through all this. During the early weeks of my injury, I spent a lot of time hanging out with these friends and doing what I could, which was mainly going out for dinner and drinks. I also took time to do some things I might not normally make time to do, like this cool counterculture coffee class I went to with my buddies Johnny and Eric. My mom even came up for a visit. Showing her around town and introducing her to many of my friends was a very welcome distraction from the fact that I had 8 more long weeks ahead of me. Lucky for you, this is just a YouTube video. So what was 8 arduous weeks of moving in literal slow motion for me is just the length of a nifty transition for you. Finally, I was able to start easing off the crutches. First moving just to 1, and then none. And at PT, we were finally able to get into the fun stuff. They had me doing all sorts of stuff, like single leg squats, suitcase walks, weighted sleds. We even busted out the agility ladder, which immediately brought me back to memories of training for soccer back in college. Eventually, it felt like I was getting an actual workout in there, which was kind of a double-edged sword, but despite being radically out of shape, it felt pretty damn good. After 8 weeks on the couch, I was working hard. And I'm not gonna lie, by the end of each visit, I was a little uncertain if I was gonna make it back out to the van. But hey, that's exactly what I wanted because I knew that that was what was gonna get me back on the bike the fastest. Though PT was going well, I still had this lingering feeling that my leg wasn't ready and I was gonna re-injure it somehow. So, admittedly, I was a bit hesitant to get back out and start being active again. Thankfully, it was around this time that my little brother Mackenzie came to town for a visit, which turned out to be just the motivation I needed to start moving again. And damn did it feel good. Like I told Mackenzie, during his visit, I'm pretty sure we did more in 1 week than I had done in the past 3 months combined. The best part, after gaining some confidence through other activities, we finally got me back on the bike. Mackenzie doesn't ride much, which actually made him the perfect person to ride with for my first couple times back because I found that riding with a beginner made it really easy for me not to fret about how slow or out of shape I was and just focus on getting out and having some fun.
Hello and welcome to the end of the video. I hope you guys Enjoyed that. I know that I have not done the best of jobs keeping you guys up to date with what's been going on with me in the past couple months, and I hope this video did a good job of bringing you guys up to speed on everything. The reality is it has not been a fantastic past couple months, and it's a lot harder to turn on the camera and you know, share that in a creative and fun way in a YouTube video. But you know, those times are equally part of the story as the fun times and the adventures. And even more of a reality is that it's probably one of the most shared times as well, one of the most relatable, because unfortunately many of you guys have probably experienced just this, going through mountain bike injury and the recovery process all the way to getting back. So I hope you guys can appreciate that video. I wanted to show the full cycle, not just, hey, I'm injured. I wanted to be able to show from injury all the way through recovery. And I am excited to be on the latter half of that now. I am back on the bike and excited to get out and ride. I'm also excited to share more ride videos with you guys. I actually have a couple of those coming up from my little brother's time here in Asheville. So thank you guys again for watching. Thank you for your patience and sticking around the channel. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. And I look forward to some more riding adventures here soon. I will see you there. Until then, you know what to do. Live free, ride hard, and get stoked.